the current home of the Portland Trailblazers, and the site of some of Harry Glickman's fondest sports memories. Harry Glickman's memories, not coincidentally, are some of Oregon's greatest sports moments.
A month ago, the Portland Board of Realtors held their annual banquet to honor Portland's first citizen. And this year, Harry Glickman joined an impressive list of honorees. Glickman was selected unanimously by the board for the honor, and the evening joins a seemingly endless list of fond memories for Harry. Some might find it unusual that Portland's first citizen now spends most of his time during the winter months in the California desert.
Good one for you.
But if there is anyone who deserves to find time to enjoy life's pleasures, it is Harry Glickman. There is still a driven love for the Blazers in the state of Oregon, but now they are often monitored via modern technologies from Palm Springs, California. His past is as storied and colorful as the face is expressive, and no one tells the stories like the man himself. The sports history goes back more than 4 decades and includes pointing out future NFL great Norm Van Brocklin to the coaching staff at the University of Oregon when Harry was a student sports writer. Harry's relationship with Van Brocklin and then NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle brought the NFL to Portland for preseason games during the 1950s and the 60s. Van Brocklin and his Los Angeles Rams gave Glickman his first sellout back in 1952.
That started a string of preseason games. We brought one every year for quite a period of time into the 70s, and sometimes 2 games a year. And as a matter of fact, Portland outdrew every non-NFL city, and they used to play a lot of their games all over the country. Portland drew the biggest crowds over any other city in the country outside of the NFL itself.
But football wasn't Harry's only concern in the early days.
We're very happy to announce today that Oregon Sports Attractions has scheduled its first boxing promotion at Memorial Coliseum. It'll take place on Tuesday night, March 21st.
His first work following college was with the sport of boxing, and started his relationship with promoters Tex Solkeld and Jack Hurley.
You know, they were all Damon Runyon characters, but the one thing I will say for them, and boxing in some respects is a pretty seedy business, but these were guys where if you shook hands with them, you had a deal. And it was something I was taught, that your handshake was your contract. And I've tried to carry that out in everything else I've done. I still subscribe to it. Your word's your bond, your handshake's your contract. The pieces of paper are something lawyers do. And that's the way it should be. And most of the people that I have dealt with, that's the way it is. You can rely on their word. A few exceptions, but mostly you can rely on their word.
All my career has been tied up with Harry Glickman, and I've never known a more honest promoter than Harry Glickman. And he gave you his word. You had it.
Harry took his experience within the sports world and tried his hand at promoting some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. Judy Garland visited Portland, as did Liberace. In addition, Glickman also enjoyed a long-standing relationship with basketball's fun-loving Harlem Globetrotters. But amid all of this work, he found time for entertainment as well. Harry was in the stands for Don Larsen's perfect game for the New York Yankees during the 1956 World Series.
And I was supposed to go to this game with a friend of mine, Sal Lesser, a fraternity brother of mine in Oregon. He'd been captain of the tennis team there. And he called me that morning and said he couldn't go. He got stuck with an appointment. So I'd seen all the games, and I got no one to go with. I'll just go downstairs to sell the tickets. I was in the Edison Hotel, which was kind of a baseball hangout, and some of the Yankees lived there at the time. So I went down to sell the tickets, and just as I stepped off the elevator, there was a page. And I went to the telephone. It was Sal, and he says, "Hey, I canceled my appointment. We can go." So we did and saw the game, and I told him afterwards, had you not done that, I'd have killed you. To have missed that, I mean, you know, the only perfect game in the history of the World Series, and to have been there, that was quite exciting.
Exciting is a good word to describe Portland's love affair with the Portland Buckaroos. Harry Glickman's first professional franchise, and a highly successful one at that.
Yeah, that was a great era. You know, we broke every attendance record in hockey outside of the National Hockey League. Won more games over the 13 years that we operated the Buckaroos. We won more games than any team in professional hockey. The runner-up was the Montreal Canadiens. We won 3 Lester Patrick Cups, which is the playoff championship. We finished first 8 times. We had just enormous success with hockey. You know, the Buckaroos established, if a dynasty can be defined as a succession over a long period of time, then there have been very few dynasties in sports in Oregon. I would say the University of Oregon track team has been a dynasty. Linfield football has been a dynasty. The Buckaroos were the best dynasty in sports, in the history of sports in Oregon. We had just tremendous success, and they were a great bunch of guys.
Harry's next coup has provided basketball fans in the state of Oregon thrills for 23 years. After years of planning and struggles, he realized his dream of putting Portland in the major leagues by landing a franchise in the NBA.
Had I not left my raincoat on in the bedroom of Abe Poland, who was the chairman of the expansion committee, at a meeting in the Beverly Wilshire Hotel in Los Angeles, we might not be in the NBA to this day. I went back to retrieve it, and there was a call from Herman Sarkowski saying that he and Bob Schmertz and Larry Weinberg had agreed to, you know, finance the expansion franchise. I walked back in the room and said, hey, we got a whole new deal, guys, and we're ready to go.
He's unique, you know. He's a man's man to begin with. He's a totally dedicated, totally focused kind of a guy. Integrity sort of speaks from him, and working with him was a delight. It couldn't have been better.
I am delighted and elated to tell you that the Blazers have signed their first pick in the 1970 collegiate draft, and the first player to be signed by our new team in the National Basketball Association. It's a young fellow on my right, Jeff Petrie from Princeton. He has signed a multi-year contract with the Blazers to play in the National Basketball Association.
And over the years, we all got used to seeing Harry at the microphone for the Blazers, working the NBA draft on the telephone, announcing coaching changes and player movement.
Gentlemen, after a long period of negotiation, considering several potential deals, the Trailblazers think that today we have completed an excellent deal.
But of course, one shining moment in 1977 is the most memorable of all.
Portland leading 109-107. Here we go, the inbound of McGinnis. Drive, stop, pump, shoot, short, no good, and the game is over! The Portland Trailblazers, at about 2 minutes and 18 seconds past the hour of 2 o'clock, have won the World Championship. They are number 1.
They were all great, Jimmy, but this is by far the best. By far the best. Just great.
Great describes Harry's intensity at Trailblazer games. He himself is a fan through and through, and believes in giving back to the fans and community that have made the Blazers successful.
One of the things I'm really proud of with the Trailblazers, other than our record, and I think that's been pretty darn good, we've been in the playoffs more consecutive times than any team in the league except the Lakers since our going through the throes of expansion. But I'm really proud of the fact that we've done a lot of good things in the community. Our basic program, our scholarship program, and a whole bunch of other things we've done. And I think we owe it to the community. But we've tried to pay our dues.
What's left for Harry Glickman? Well, for all he has accomplished, there are still dreams left.
I'd like to see another major league franchise because I think Portland belongs in the major leagues of professional sports. I hope if there's one thing I've done, they've vindicated my judgment that we belonged in the major leagues of professional sports. But other than that, well, obviously I'd love to win another championship and get another ring. I would like to stay on in some capacity while the new arena is being constructed. I think that'd be, it's just a fun thing. You know, we've done a lot of things in sports. We've never built a building. And this is a really fascinating project. I mean, I'm not heavily involved, but I'm consulted a little bit, and I'm pretty much in tune with what's going on. And I'd like to stay on in some capacity until the new building's open, and then I'd like to see you later.
Or his 4 seasons.